And welcome back to Backstage. I'm your host, Mr. Magic, with my lovely guest, the amazing Patrina O'Connor.
I'm going to give you $50 for that compliment.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll put it right in the account. So, Patrina O'Connor, a.k.a., as most people now know you, Power Girl.
Yeah.
Now, we associate that name with you being on the radio, and you had a hot spot on there for a while.
Yeah.
And if people don't know, it was like the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, that you actually broke out, and it was a Saturday afternoon. So Power Girl was on the air.
The funny part is it didn't start out like that. And quickly, I started out with Roddy Gun. So it was the Roddy Gun and Power Girl show. Right. I was promoting something, and I went on Roddy Gun's show, and afterwards, we just clicked. And next thing, he was like, come next Saturday, come next Saturday, come next Saturday. It was an evening show. And then afterwards, we would do Roddy Gun and Power Girl show. We did a weekly top 10 countdown.
Yes, I remember.
And people would start looking forward to that. And then afterwards, I don't even understand, but then it kind of branched out where Roddy Gun moved shift to like a weekday shift. And they were like, well, Patrina, would you be interested in doing your own show? And I was like, sure. And I like old school, and I like old school reggae. So therefore, that's what I did. And I loved it. It took me back to my high school days, and also it brought something back for everybody else, because that was a period where not everybody was playing old school. If you remember the old school reggae, people were playing old school music, but not necessarily just the old school reggae. And so every Saturday, people were tuning in, and people were calling, and sponsors were calling, and it was like, wow. And even the young people. So now I see young people that were maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, and they're coming up to me now. Oh, I know about this song because of you. And I'm like, wow, like you listened to me back then. So that's, really, really exciting for me. But I had to be true to who I was. And I wasn't going to come on the radio and play music that I'm not familiar with and music that I don't listen to. So initially with the top 10 countdown, obviously that was any time where I was still kind of going out and kind of whatever. But then you transition in life, right? And so for me, the transition is, you know what? I don't really listen to trap music. I really don't listen. I listen to some of the top 10 stuff, but I don't really listen to everything anymore.
And you say that, but even though in our little skit that we did for the stage show we did, that was the premise.
Yeah.
And we both feel the same way. Trap music, it's not for everybody.
It's got your place.
Yeah, it has its place. 2 Chainz, I'll be honest, 2 Chainz, I've heard some of his stuff, and some of his stuff I can relate to, which is cool, but not everything. But like you said, because we were on the same page. Old school.
And I'm not going to pretend, to be into it.
Yeah.
There might be 1 or 2 songs I'm like, okay, cool, but if I'm not, why am I going to play that?
Well, see, here's the other thing. When you have a format and a program director that lays it out, not unfortunately, but we have to follow protocol. If that's how it's got to be done, that's how it's got to be done. But you can't take away from where your heart is, and that is the soul of music, which is old school.
Right.
When you're talking about OJs, Temptations,
and you're right. And like I said, a real radio personality is able to just click in and do that.
There's that key word. Say that again. Radio what?
Personality. You know what I mean?
I do. And I'm going to say this out there, folks. I listen to radio, all stations that we have in Bermuda. Well, all stations except one. I ain't going to name which one. And I'll be real about that. And they have now, I've been noticing, on radio, the personalities are fading away. They're replacing them with DJs. And I'm not knocking the talent that these DJs have. They are straight up, and I do love it.
Yes.
But when you're dealing with radio, there is protocol that's got to be followed, and some of these stations are drifting away from that protocol.
Right.
Now, if it's working for them, go for it. Go for it. But you're going to lose some listeners. And see, in a little sense,
when I first came back, and obviously my degree is to communicate. My degree is in communication, so I'm also qualified in this area as well. And for me coming back, it was about legal stuff. It was about rules and regulations. It was certain things you couldn't say. It was certain things you couldn't do. And obviously, times have changed, and now we have social media, and things are a little more no holds barred. So I definitely understand that things have changed. And then also it's more of you know, the DJs, the followings, the parties.
Yes.
So things have kind of changed in that route, but I still think that there is still an area that is missing from radio in Bermuda. And no disrespect to anybody but that's out there, because we have some phenomenal DJs that are out there. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
And I'll say it out there.
Yeah.
One of my favorite DJs is on radio, DJ Chubb. For real. I love DJ Chubb and Gina's show on 103. You know, to say it, I do.
With Chubb, like, he is kind of a person. You know, he's a personality too.
That's what I'm saying. He brings his personality into it.
So it's a
kind of win-win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially Old School Thursdays. I'm going to say that.
I know I'm not supposed to be bigging up people, but I definitely do like the Throwback Thursdays on Vibe. I mean, that would be one of my.
And I'll be honest, you know, like I said, we got to put across what as it is, because I have worked for 3 different radio stations here, and I know the ins and outs of that, and also have done television as well. So we know this, and we're not speaking out of pocket, and we're not throwing anybody under the bus. Thumbs up through everybody that's in this business that are, you know, paving the way for the next generation, because things change. When we grew up, our parents' music didn't go away completely. Initially, it faded away while our old school came into play. Now, with the new style of music and the younger people, they're gravitating towards that. So ours becomes more eclectic. It becomes something that we can relate to. And it's nice when you have those old school artists that bring it to the new. Charlie Wilson, perfect example, to bring it forward.
Look, don't talk about Charlie Wilson, because my girl Miss Thane be like, Charlie Wilson, you said. That's her favorite. That's her favorite. That's her favorite.
I was listening to Charlie before I came here today.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Look, they all like little Charlie Wilson.
Let's head on to the next phase of this. After we come back from break, all right, we're going to go to this new era in your life, where you're now transitioning to. We've covered radio, we've covered your stage performance.
Because you know what, and I will say this: life is about seasons, and I step into different seasons. So this is good.
Well, we're in the winter season right now, so let's step into spring right after this. We'll be right back. More Backstage with Power Girl, Mr. Magic. See you in a few minutes.